Alright, this is the first snow day of the year, and it's kind of rainy too. Took the day off work. So this is the project we're going to be working on. This is our 1969 C10. It's a short wheelbase step side version, and I picked this up about 6 months ago, and just gonna go over it here with you a little bit. Check out the snow. See, we live in Georgia, so this right here is unusual. So of course everybody panicked today and took the day off work. I'm not complaining. So this is our inside here. It is pretty rough, you know. What you get for, you know, buying an old truck like this. And the doors, of course, don't line up. You gotta pick up on it and close it. And it's a pretty cool old patina truck. I can't wait to get started on it. I've always wanted one of these trucks, but right here, look at that. We got some little bit of Bondo action going on. And the rocker panel's completely gone. That's what's pretty rough there. It's gonna be fun trying to fix that, but luckily I got a couple of trucks and cars or whatnot under my belt doing some repairs like that, so this one won't be no different. And I'm probably gonna leave that seat, you know, like leave it all rusty looking, and maybe put like a pillow there and like one of them Indian blankets on it or something, or Mexican blanket. Oh, I gotta pick it up. There we go. I like that aspect of it. Adds character to it. But yep, that's pretty much it. And it's a factory 350 or factory V8. You know, I looked up the serial number on it. It's got the 6-lug wheels, 12-bolt rear end. So it'll be a good V8 swap. I'm gonna LS swap it. I got an LS and a 4L80E in the shop. So that's where we're at now. We're gonna get this thing. Well, it's gonna sit right there, and I'm gonna take the LS that I've got today and bolt it to the 4L80E. So I'm gonna bring y'all along through that, show you some tricks that I've learned, and a couple of what not to do's. So y'all stay tuned. Alright, so I'm going to go over what I just done there. You see, I swapped out this dish flex plate here. It's got a dish in it for this flat one that came off of a 6-liter. See, there ain't no dish in it, and it's got the pads that go around for the 6-liter torque converter. So this is a 4L80E. That's a 5.3, and it's a Gen 3 5.3, and this is a one of the later model 4L80. See, it's got the return cooler line, the inlet and return, you know, that way, not this way. So that's one of the good ones. And I learned my lesson with this before trying to use this dish flex plate. I've gone this route right here before in El Camino, and I had vibration issues because I was running one of those little $10 adapters. They call them a little adapter, whatever. You just put it right here between the dish and the torque converter, and it doesn't do good. Trust me, don't do that, because this is what centers that all that rotating mass right there of that converter. So these bolts, they don't really do anything as far as centering it. They just keep it, you know, in there, and, you know, keep the rotation from, you know, it couples it, but those bolts ain't what centers it. You need a good center right here. And see, I put that spacer in here. So a kit I bought, and it says you can even use the dish flex plate with it. Let's see how it shows putting it on the outside of it, but I like using the flat one, the flat plate. As you can see where it's talking about how it goes on there. So that's what I did. I put that spacer there and then put my flat plate, and I used the bolts supplied with it, and they sent flat washers with it. I didn't use them because they're huge and they're just flopping around on there. I like a washer to fit nice, so I went and got some lock washers and put on there. So either use red Loctite or lock washers so they don't back out. And this will be my first go around with lock washers. I usually just use red Loctite, but I'm gonna try something new. And I don't know, hopefully it don't leak oil. They say that those are, you know, the crankshafts drilled in, you know, all the way through so it could seep oil, but I don't think so. Maybe not. But if it does, it'll be a lesson learned. And so next step, we're going to get this thing bolted to that thing. So pretty much what I'm trying to do here is get this lined up where it picks the motor up on the same plane as the transmission so that everything lines up better. And that's about good. So, one thing I put on here earlier, I didn't say nothing about it either. This is your, it's a tool for holding your flex plate still while you torque your bolts down. So I torqued them down to 74 foot-pounds, which is what they recommend. So, but this right here is a very handy tool, and it wasn't very expensive. I think I paid like $10 for it. I've used it several times. It's just got little teeth that lock in your flex plate, and you bolt it to where your starter bolts up. Pretty handy. So save that for another day. My engine hoist leaks down, so it kind of makes it more of a challenge. Because you kind of got to hurry up. You know what I mean? But it kind of helps when you're really close and you wait for it. You know what I mean? So my engine's kind of crooked. I need to roll my transmission up a little bit. Inside, kind of help it out there. So I think I can do that. Just pick it up a little bit. Let's come up a little more. So either got a piece of plywood or 2x4. Looks like we're going to have to go with the 2x4. Too much. I don't know, it might be about right. Line my dowel ends up. Where are we at? Okay. I feel like I'm wrestling a crocodile right now. You know what I mean? Get it in choke hold. Now I'm going to try to get some bolts started before my engine hoist leaks down where it falls off. You know? Oh, they're in the hole. So, you know what I mean? Time is ticking. It's another one. Old pirate off of a Peter Pan. The crocodile. Right? Not the right side. I'm not just going to tighten this all the way up because I don't want to put my converter in a bind if it ain't lining up right. I'm just getting them just touched, you know. There. Now it's held in place pretty good. A little bump there. Okay. Now, what I'm going to check for is make sure, oh yeah, so I can spin my converter freely. That's what I'm looking for. If that converter's in a bind, stop and back up. You got something wrong. You know, something ain't lining up. You don't want to put that converter in a bind. It'll push into your pump and crack it. So we're good so far. Just gonna snug these three up. Okay, still spins free. Now I want to make sure the snout of that converter is up in the end of that yeah. All right, y'all, that's gonna work perfect. Now I'm gonna go ahead and stick these other bolts in, and I'll show y'all. I'll bring you in on it so you can see what I'm looking at here. And this is for the C10. So it's gonna be pretty neat. It's a stock 5.3, stock 4L80E, stock converter. Now if I go changing the cam, I'd have to change the converter, you know, all this other stuff. So I'm gonna leave it stock. And what I'm gonna do is put a couple of really small turbos on it, and this thing is gonna be a blast to drive. It's kind of like how I built an El Camino, pretty much same deal. It was a 4L60. I bought the 4L60 5.3 combo out of a Tahoe, which is what this motor come out of, a Tahoe. And just stuck them in there and put a couple turbos on it. And that thing was fun. I mean, it was fun on the street. It had plenty of power. It'll just spin the tires, you know, as soon as you hit the pedal, you just lighten them up. But if you plan on drag racing or anything where you're actually gonna hook the tire, go on and do yourself a favor and get one of these 4L80s. Because that 4L60 won't hold on a drag strip. So I don't know, I might take it to the strip. I ended up swapping that one out to a 4L80, and it held the power. So that's my go-to now, is a 4L80. All right, now I'm gonna show y'all what I'm looking at as far as the converter goes. Get you over here where you can see what I'm talking about here. All right, so I got under here, the converter was slid all the way back in the transmission, and I'm looking right up in there, And so the snout of the converter went up in that recess of that crankshaft. So I'm looking right here too. See, I was spinning this as I was tightening it up to make sure it didn't get in a bind. So we're good there. And now right there are these pallets on the flex plate. Now I've got about maybe 3/16 of an inch right there. I'm gonna measure it, but I can pretty much tell you that's about 3/16, which is perfect. I mean, it don't get no better, because what happens when you put your bolts in, try to get my light here, but you tighten this up and it goes up, butts up against that pad right there, and that means you pulled the converter back out of the pump about 3/16 of an inch, which will keep it from, if it gets hot, or mainly getting hot, it swells up and it won't wreck your pump. So you want a little space there for all that. Alright, so I got some help out in the shop. He wants out. He's had enough fun. You had enough fun, Rocky? Huh? Okay, enough fun. Now time to go have some real fun out in the snow. Okay. So, anyways, see, I got this motor and transmission put up here. I put it on this rolling cart. Now, I'm not sure the weight rating. Anyways, okay, right there it is. 1,000 pounds. Man, it's all over that. All right, cool. So, actually, I don't know how much that weighs. Probably close to it. I don't know. So, anyways, past maybe 800 pounds. Anyways, what I was going to show you here, we've got this little plate right here. Is it's like this little plastic shield that comes on them, and you just take it off. It comes on your 5.3s, and that gives you access to get to your bolts here. Now you got to roll the motor over, and what I'm going to do is put a socket on the harmonic balancer and roll the motor over, and I can get in here. And I wish you could see which one was lined up, but it lines up right here where you're just big enough to get a socket on it, and you do one at a time, go around it, and you know, get them all hand tight, and then go ahead and torque them all down and use some blue Loctite on them. That's what I'm using, blue Loctite. But that's pretty much it on that. Just wanted to show you all that little piece you can take off. Alright, so here we go. I lied earlier and said you had to do it from the other side, and it doesn't give you enough room, so you actually got to take your starter off to get to these bolts. So here we go. Roll it over. Here's my ratchet here. So I see my bolt hole. Go on, Rocky, get out of my face. Anyways, Rocky's helping again. He wanted to eat everything out in the yard, so here we go. We're gonna get our bolt started with our blue Loctite on it. And go on. Try to do this with drool, getting drooled on in my ear. Go on, Rocky, get out of my face. Alright, so I'm dog sitting right now. He's helping a lot. I'm gonna have a big dog lick hairdo. Go on, Rocky, get out of my face. Alright, roll it over. And this motor, it needed to be rolled over. It's been sitting there a while, so it's kind of had a little stickiness to it in the beginning. It's rolling over good now. Oops. Alright. What's that movie, Ace Ventura, where the guy's balancing on the pole and getting shot with spitballs? Try doing this with a dog in your face. It's kind of the same situation. So he's helping though. There we go. We roll it on around. Right there is our next one. And you know, just get them started, all of them by hand. And once you get all of them started, which I think that was the last one, then you can go back and torque them down. You don't want to put one in and tighten it up because you roll it over and then the next one might be off a little bit and you can't get the bolt started, and you got to go back around and loosen that one and then go back and put them all in. So just leave them all loose till you get them all in and then tighten them all up. So I'm gonna put that piece of plastic back on the other side and torque all these down now. Alright y'all, so see me torque those torque converter bolts down. The torque converter, I torqued it to 45 foot-pounds with blue Loctite on the threads, and the bell housing bolts, I torqued them down to 32 foot-pounds with nothing on them. I don't know if I should, but I've never had any of those back out, so I think that'll be fine. But there it is. It's all put together, ready to roll. So we got that done. Now next step is getting the motor mounts for the C10 and the transmission cross member. So y'all stay tuned for that. See y'all.